I don't know that I've scouted many players like this. I tried to think about different comps. To have a guy that's essentially 6'4", 238 pounds, he ran 4.34 at the combine. Then you watch him on tape and you see him play the deep middle, the deep half. You see him play in the box. You see him blitz, rush the passer. He's sort of a Swiss Army knife and does it all. And we call that kind of a player an eraser in this league.
That is, of course, the voice of former general manager Steve Keim of the Arizona Cardinals, going back to April 23rd of 2020, right after the Cardinals made that selection.
Yeah, he's an eraser, all right. He's gone.
The eraser got erased. 3 years later, Isaiah Simmons now on his way to New York to play with the Giants, potentially. 7th-round pick coming back. And Steve Keim, obviously no longer a member of the organization. They move on. Monty Ossenfort takes over. And you're right. We did have a listener screenshot the 9 first-round draft picks made during the 10-year tenure of Steve Keim as the general manager. And you want to talk about a bleak picture. I'm going to go year by year with you, Tim. And I'll give you the draft pick, and I want you to assign a letter grade, knowing what you know now. Okay?
Okay.
2013, the first-round pick, 7th overall, Jonathan Cooper.
Let him.
I wouldn't go that far.
What? Why?
Because Jonathan Cooper was traded to the Patriots in the deal that netted them Chandler Jones.
Is that a fair thing to factor in?
No. The evaluation of Jonathan Cooper and how he played in the National Football League and how he contributed to the Arizona Cardinals.
But remember also the sales job in 2013 that was done after they drafted Jonathan Cooper.
Yeah, best offensive lineman already.
Yes. He came out of baggage claim as the best offensive lineman.
Right.
That was the line from Steve Keim. He ended up playing 20. He got hurt in that first preseason in a game against the Chargers, played 24 games.
The fact that you flipped him at part of the Chandler Jones deal, to me,
you mitigated
is
the
not
loss.
part of the grade.
Okay.
I'm talking about the evaluation of the player.
And also, just real quick, that's sort of like saying David Johnson, you traded for DeAndre Hopkins. It was more the second-round pick involved in each of those trades was, I assume, more what got the player back. Chandler Jones and
True. Although the Patriots ended up trading that second-round pick elsewhere.
Like Bill O'Brien being dumb doesn't make David Johnson a better player. Right? I mean, do you know what I mean? Like that.
2014, they moved down. They take Dayan Buchanan from Washington State.
C+. He played.
He had a couple really good years.
He was okay.
on some very good football teams.
Right. And they moved him from safety to
another guy who was not playing his natural position at the NFL level.
Right. They moved him to that dollar linebacker deal.
Yes.
But he played and he was okay.
And Dayan used to get
C+.
Dayan used to get really upset when you called him a linebacker. He did not like that.
Another guy, though, that if you remember when they picked him was sort of a surprise, a little bit higher than he was on most of the boards.
Yes. 2015, 24th overall, DJ Humphries.
B+. He's a left tackle in the NFL.
Yeah, he's going on a decade here.
Yeah.
He's become like a fixture at left tackle. No problem with
B+.
that pick.
Especially after the knee-deep slow start.
Yes. 2016, 29th overall, Robert Kondichi.
F.
It's hard not to say that.
F. Because the red flags were there.
Yes,
he ignored them, and he was wrong.
They were coming off of a season where they won 13 games. They were 1 game away from going to the Super Bowl. They had the low first-round draft pick. It was leeway. They had an opportunity to roll, because of what they were as a team, to roll the dice on a guy with not the cleanest record. Talent-wise, everybody was fawning. Everybody fawned over Robert Kondichi his whole life. But that talent never amounted to much.
Right. Okay, so a guy like Tyrann Mathieu, Steve rolled the dice.
Yes.
And hit a home run.
Yes.
Great pick.
Mm-hmm.
Rolled the dice on Kondichi, got it wrong. Bad pick.
All right.
It happens.
2017, 13th overall, Hassan Reddick.
Okay. Now, the way they handled him, obviously very incorrectly, screwed it up. But in terms of evaluating the player, they got that right. Mm-hmm. He's a great NFL player. I'm going to give that pick an A. Okay?
Because of what he's become?
Yes. You picked a really good football player. You just didn't know what to do with him.
Until the last year.
If you're just looking at the Cardinals' career of Hassan Reddick, what grade would you give it?
Well, because they screwed it up so bad, I would give the way the Cardinals handled him and what he did here probably a
but still a high grade for the pick.
I give a yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They figured out how to use him.
You evaluated a college football player to be a very good NFL player, and you got that right.
They figured out how to use him just in time to make him good enough to go elsewhere.
2018, 10th overall.
F.
What? We didn't even.
F.
We didn't even get to it. 10th overall.
I didn't know his name was F. Josh Rosen. He's like F. Murray Abraham.
F. Scott Fitzgerald. What did he do to you?
There's no other way to say it. It's an F.
It's an F. It's an F. I'm not messing around here.
2019.
Josh Rosen.
We're on a tight
And
ship.
that was Rosen, another guy they traded up for, correct?
Yes. 2019, first overall, Kyler Murray.
Incomplete.
No, you can't do that.
No, you're not messing
no,
around.
No.
You
What
give it
happened,
incomplete?
Mr. Not Messing
Come
Around?
on, Professor Ring, you softy.
I'm going to give Kyler Murray because I'm not going to, while I still have question marks, I am not going to ignore a Rookie of the Year award, a playoff appearance, a couple of Pro Bowls. Yeah. I understand the question marks. So I'm going to give Kyler Murray, but he's also under 500 as a starter. I'm going to give Kyler Murray a B. I'm going to give him a B.
Okay.
I'm going to give him a B.
I think that's fair.
I'm teetering on B- because of the overall record, but wins are not always a quarterback stat. I'm going to give him a B. Is that fair?
Yes.
I will listen to arguments on both sides. Higher grades, lower grades.
B- right now is fair.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he did secure a second contract, a big money second contract from this team, but his future is still very much up in the air.
And also, the only argument there also would be like, would they have been better off staying with Rosen and drafting Bosa? Because they had the number one pick. It's not like anybody else.
No, obviously not, because Rosen has had 75 other opportunities with other teams, and he clearly cannot play.
So you do have to factor that in with how you grade the pick.
Yeah. 2020, 8th overall, the man of the hour, Isaiah Simmons.
What's below?
F,
G?
F minus.
I mean,
G.
F. The only way it would be a D because he's actually still in the league, and maybe the Giants salvage something. But right now, it's an F, right?
Yeah, you can't even make the same claims. Like, the way you handled the Reddick grade was they identified a very good football player. They just misused him. We don't have any proof that the Cardinals even identified a very good NFL football player.
Right.
And that's up to another organization now to take that out.
The only difference is, like, Rosen's now out of the league. Like, he's packaged up. He's done. Grade is in, done. Isaiah Simmons is still, at this point,
and the only other
technically salvageable.
Well, the only other thing to factor in potentially is that when they made the pick, people were saying it was a really good pick.
Oh, man, I've got the whole collection of just the gushing over Isaiah Simmons in front of me.
So in that context of Steve Keim wasn't the only one that turned out to be wrong, you have to sort of factor that in a little bit with how the pick was.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to tap in, and I remember that night we were doing the draft show, and I was doing it from home because it's in the middle of COVID. That was the Roger Goodell basement draft. But I seem to remember thinking, wow, Isaiah Simmons is going to fall to 8 to the Cardinals? Oh, yeah. There was certainly that.
Oh, yeah.
No GM bats 1,000. Every GM has a whoops on his resume.
We have one more at-bat to go.
Oh, boy.
2021, 16th overall, Zaven Collins. It's got to be right in the middle, right?
It's a C.
It's a C?
It's a C.
So you said nobody bats 1,000, but...
And there are busts in every top 10 of every draft.
You should bat more than 222 with first-round picks.
There's enough data here.
How many of those were there? 9, you said?
9. And then last year they traded as it's going to turn out, it's going to be another questionable move.
But
when you have 9 first-round picks, a lot of them which are first half of the first-round picks, you should get at least 3 A's out of 9.
But fellas, it's not just the first round. Go into the depths of the drafts over the 10 years. There's just too many misses throughout the second, third, and fourth rounds.
There's too many Andy Isabella types.
And it's not the 5th, 6th, and 7th, fine, whatever. Too many misses in the meat of the drafts where you are supposed to find contributors, where they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And not only contributors, guys that couldn't play in the league, period. And Jarrett, you're right. Everybody wants to point to the Isabella Metcalf thing, but there are too many names that I won't start rattling off of guys that not only couldn't contribute, guys that just couldn't play in the league. Period.
Yeah.
That were picked in the middle rounds.
Yeah. There was maybe one or two decent to good drafts, but oof.
Offensive linemen, cornerbacks.
Yeah.
Names that people
wide
probably forgot,
receivers
like Brandon Williams for one, the kid out of A&M, the cornerback.
Second round pick.
Right.
Yeah.